Something massive is quietly unfolding behind the scenes. A coordinated shift inside the U.S. banking system and Iraq's central bank that analysts say we haven't seen in years. If you're holding Iraqi dinar, what you're about to hear may change the way you look at the days ahead. Welcome back to Iraqi Dinar News Today, where we break down the truth behind global financial movements and the latest developments shaping Iraq's currency future. Today's broadcast is not business as usual, not even close. A significant development, one that has been building quietly and methodically, is now becoming visible. While the world's attention is elsewhere, something highly coordinated is taking place inside U.S. banking networks, inside Iraq's central bank, and across international financial channels. These movements are not random, not accidental, not routine. They are synchronized, they are strategic, and according to several analysts, this may be the most important moment in the modern history of the Iraqi dinar. So stay with me from start to finish, because everything you are about to hear is based on observable actions, not hype, not recycled rumors, and not speculation for entertainment. These are the developments that insiders, technicians, and financial analysts are watching closely. And if you are someone who holds dinar, if you follow currency resets, if you've been waiting for something real instead of endless guessing, then what's happening right now deserves your attention. The U.S. banking system, unusual preparations. Let's start with what's happening in the United States. Over the last several days, and especially in the last 72 hours, multiple major banks across the country have reportedly shifted into what insiders call a heightened readiness posture. Now, banks change procedures all the time. They run audits, they update software, they test systems, but this is different. Employees from several large institutions have reported sudden changes in internal notifications, specifically involving foreign exchange monitoring readiness for sudden rate adjustments, alerts for unexpected system, updates increased oversight on international transfers modifications, to compliance protocols, and additional internal briefings on currency-related activity. These are not standard procedures. Banks do not move into synchronized monitoring unless they anticipate something worthy of coordination. When one bank does it, it might be nothing. When several top-tier institutions begin mirroring the same behavior, that's when analysts pay attention. Because in finance, parallel movement is almost never a coincidence. It's a signal, and that signal usually means one thing. An adjustment window is approaching. Connecting the dots. Why now? Why are major institutions preparing at the same time? Why are foreign exchange systems being updated? Why are compliance teams being refreshed? Why are liquidity tests happening behind the scenes? These updates are expensive. They are time-consuming, and banks do not perform them unless they believe something significant may be on the horizon. Which brings us to the center of this story, Iraq. The central bank moves into implementation mode for months. Iraq has been quietly rolling out reforms, step by step, phase by phase, aimed at preparing the country for deeper international integration. But recently something changed. Iraq's central bank began using a very specific kind of language, a language that analysts consider extremely important. Not planning, not evaluating, not studying, but instead, completion, readiness, implementation, modernization. That shift matters, because it signals that the foundation is already in place. Iraq has updated its digital banking systems, expanded its links to international networks, tightened oversight on domestic banks, increased documentation requirements, strengthened anti-money laundering controls, and introduced new compliance procedures. This is not the behavior of a country maintaining the status quo. This is the behavior of a country preparing for something new. When a central bank says it is moving into implementation mode, analysts interpret that as a sign that the setup phase is done, meaning the next logical step is activation and adjustment. The new public discussion inside Iraq, another major indicator, comes from inside Iraq itself. Citizens and business owners are having open, public conversations about purchasing power exchange, rate reform, economic stability, and the possibility of strengthened currency value. For years, these topics were avoided or restricted. Not anymore. Now they're being discussed openly, in markets, in business meetings, in banking offices, even in local media. History shows that governments do not openly discuss purchasing power unless they believe a change is coming. Because managing public expectations is one of the final stages before unveiling monetary reform. Reports of training, testing, and readiness inside Iraq throughout the country, Branches of Iraqi banks are reportedly training staff, running system tests, updating procedures, reviewing currency handling protocols, preparing for new note structures, and aligning their platforms with CBI mandates. These updates are described as quiet, coordinated, and extensive. Combined with public statements from the CBI, analysts are calling this the most organized internal readiness phase Iraq has displayed in years. When U.S. banks and Iraq move together, a critical signal here's where the picture gets even more interesting. When Iraq's internal preparations line up with U.S. banking activity, at the same exact time, analysts see this as an extremely rare alignment. Because remember, if a revaluation or repricing were to take place, especially one involving the Iraqi dinar, the first pressure point would be the U.S. banking system. Why? Because the United States reportedly has one of the largest concentrations of dinar holders in the world. So U.S. banks must be ready for sudden foreign exchange, updates, high-volume transactions, potential liquidity shifts, appointment, scheduling, monitoring, compliance, and international confirmation systems. These things cannot be done at the last second. They have to be prepared before anything becomes public, which is why the timing is creating so much attention. Because major financial institutions rarely prepare in unison unless a coordinated event, or the possibility of one, is approaching. Global currency alignment, a quiet realignment may be coming. Many analysts describe what's happening now as part of a broader global currency realignment. Not a collapse, not chaos, not a reset in the dramatic sense, but a correction, an adjustment where undervalued currencies rise and overvalued currencies settle. And Iraq is often cited as one of the most undervalued currencies on Earth. Think about it. One of the world's largest oil reserves, massive natural resources, increasing stability, strong international partnerships, expanding trade, growing gold reserves, modernized banking, rising foreign investment. Yet its currency is valued at a fraction of a penny. According to many analysts, that imbalance is becoming harder to justify as Iraq stabilizes and modernizes. Real-time preparation, both domestic and international inside the U.S. Banks are testing liquidity, synchronizing with foreign exchange, servers updating international transfer systems, verifying compliance with global standards, preparing staff for sudden rate updates inside Iraq. The central bank is declaring readiness, modernizing systems, increasing transparency, managing public expectations, strengthening regulatory frameworks. This dual preparation, domestic and international, creates a window of possibility that analysts say is stronger than anything seen in recent years. The key question, why November 2025? Analysts are asking a very simple question. Why now? Why not 6 months ago? Why not next year? Why is everything converging specifically at this moment? The most common answer is this: because Iraq's reforms have finally aligned with global financial requirements. When a country's internal systems reach a certain level of compliance and modernization, international banking networks must adjust to match. And those adjustments are happening now, visibly. Not rumored, not hinted, but observed through direct financial movements. Understanding what this could mean if Iraq moves forward with a revaluation or upward adjustment, the effects could be global. Currency markets would rebalance undervalued currencies in other regions, may follow trade dynamics, could shift reserves, would be recalculated global liquidity flows, would adjust investment patterns, would change. This would not just reshape Iraq's economy. It could influence global foreign exchange markets for years. SIGNS to watch for. Next, viewers should pay attention to several key signals. 1. New official CBI statements. 2. Updates on international foreign exchange platforms. 3. Changes in parliamentary economic discussions. 4. Sudden banking system synchronization across Europe and Asia. 5. Unusual rate-related communications from U.S. banks. 6. Public announcements about purchasing power inside Iraq. When this moment arrives, it will not be hidden. It will not be rumor. It will be visible, public, and confirmed across global systems. As we move forward, stay informed, not fearful. This journey has been long, filled with misinformation, speculation, and endless noise. But today's signals are different. They are stronger, more organized, more technical, more synchronized, and based on observable actions, not emotion. So as we move ahead, remember, stay calm, stay patient, stay informed, ignore fear-based rumors, wait for official updates, move only when verified information is released. Both Iraq and the global banking system are preparing, visibly and structurally. And preparation always comes before transition. We are now in the phase where the pieces are aligning, openly, and in real time. That's all for today's update. If you found this breakdown helpful and want to stay ahead of the latest developments coming out of Iraq and the global banking system, make sure to white heavy checkmark, subscribe white heavy checkmark, like the video white heavy checkmark, leave a comment below. This is Iraqi Dinar News Today, bringing you clear, grounded updates straight from the source, without hype and without distractions. Stay tuned, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next broadcast. Disclaimer: the information provided on Iraqi Dinar News Today is for educational and informational purposes only. We do not provide financial, investment, or trading advice. All content shared on this channel is based on publicly available data and personal opinions. Viewers are advised to do their own research and consult a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Iraqi Dinar News Today is not affiliated with any government agency, bank, or financial institution.